It is the Thursday night, it's Harriet Pride, I've got James Sutton, I've got Damian Kavanagh, and there's a rash of links. We'll get stuck into them. Jorg Schmadtke's turned up, and the Reds are buying everyone. The fellow doesn't stand on ceremony. But the season's over, Damian, and I'm going to start doing some season reviews in a little while. And it occurred to me with you and James, there hasn't been the chance to do that, and there might not be, given people's commitments and so on and so forth. So, you've seen a lot of Liverpool seasons.
Indeed.
Some good, some bad, some indifferent. This one probably falls somewhere between indifferent and bad in the grand scheme of things, if we're all honest.
So disappointing, wasn't it? I mean, if someone had been a season kicked off, it was like, you know, we weren't going to go to the last week of the season with a chance of winning a title, you'd say, well, all right. But to not even being with a realistic chance of being in the big cup from such a long way out, I just didn't envisage that. And normally I think historically the kind of points total we got might have put us in the top four in different seasons. I don't know, I'm not a great look at all those things.
I think if they didn't, for instance, if they didn't need to beat Southampton, they'd have beat Southampton.
Yeah, I get that.
You can add two on.
And I think if Newcastle needs to beat Chelsea on that, whatever the combination of the results are, but yeah, we just weren't good enough and it was horrible to watch. But I think you've got to. You can't be philosophical all the time because it doesn't get you anywhere. You've got to be ruthless and you've got to be angry and you've got to take no messing, right? And that is exactly what we've got to do from here. And that's what we've done beforehand. But I think you've got to look at the season and just say, the previous season, we were in literally minutes in the two biggest competitions of going down as the greatest team in the history of English footy. We played all the games that we did, the way that we play, and we've got to approach it. The relentless nature in which Man City and Liverpool were chasing each other down, and the number of points Man City have to get when they beat Liverpool to the title is a different set of points than they have to get when they beat anybody else to the league title. And in the end, it's burnt us out. Liverpool is a great club with a lot of resources, which a lot of clubs would envy. But we're not in the same, in the same category as what we can go against. So we've literally got to get the 11 best lads, the 5 best subs, the manager making all the best decisions at the same time as what Man City are doing, and they've got a boss manager with boss players who want to play for them, and they can get better reinforcements, and at some point there's a finite life to that, unless you have got the outstanding number one, only best manager who gets every single decision right. And if you put all the emotion, the way in which Liverpool have to play and the way in which they've created a success by running people's legs off before they leave the club,
and burning heads out, I'd say as well.
I think that's where the heads come in this time. It wasn't before. I think it's just been a season too far. And if you look at the best 11 that we've got at the end of the season, at the end of last season, there's a number of differences in there, a number of personnel. Yeah. And I think that the mistake that the club have made at some point was that they thought they could get another season out of it and maybe get, say for example, it's Bellingham, we'll hang on and we're good enough to be in the title top 2, don't worry about it or whatever. But the fan base was very mindful and was very vociferous and articulate that midfield needed sorting out. And it needed sorting out last year and the year before. And we didn't quite. And we did. And we might be forgiven for this. When we bought Thiago, it was to beat Man City on their pitch.
Yeah.
Now, if we hadn't bought Thiago, and I like Thiago, what a footballer, he'd get in any great Liverpool side in. It's all with his ability and his application. But we were looking for an extra thing. We had the 3 combative midfield players, we had the bomber up and down full-backs, we had the forward line, intertwining and whatever. Obviously, we've still got to come up with something else. And if last season we didn't have Thiago, but we had another combative, we had another version of Wijnaldum instead, would we have lost less games? And so I think it's just a journey of the fact that Man City have burnt us out and we've just got to regroup and get back to basics on it. And I think we've done it to them and they've got better resources to combat it. And injuries, form, all that. And if it's a disaster for finishing 5th, then we've got great standards, because the great encouragement I took was that Arsenal rocked up at Anfield and looked together, looked confident, looked like they knew each other inside out and were genuine. We are a force in the English game. And all Liverpool had to do was shift their arse in the second half. Right. And it's all they had to do. And Liverpool's standard was better than Arsenal's. Now, Arsenal's was a deserved runner-up, and full credit they should get for that. I'm not demeaning it. But it's quite clearly our version of us is improving, is better than anybody else's. So it's so disappointing. And we're going to miss the big cup. So let's enjoy all those mad little European jaunts. And let's be ruthless and let's get back to business. Let's not overcomplicate this anymore. Let's just buy a couple of key players whose best years are now and in front of them. And let's get back to being Liverpool.
YouTube, press the button, become a member of the Anfield Wrap from the heart of the city of Liverpool. the best way to enjoy all your Liverpool-based videos, everything you need, every single day. It is the Anfield Wrap.